Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तविंद। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Saturday. It is April 20th. And that is Chaitra Masa or Vishnu Masa, Sukla Paksham and Dwadasi Tithi. So today, break the fast for Ekadasi. So between the time, based on the London timings, it is 5:53 and 10:37. So now we are already within the Parana time, Dwadasi Parana time. So that is from the event's perspective. And also there is one more event. It is also called Damanaka Dwadasi. So this is Damanaka Aropana Dwadasi. So this is, there is a tiny 2 lines or 3 lines about the Jagannath. So this is mentioned in the ISKCON Desert, Damanaka Chori or Dayana Lagi. So the following days, the following is observed in Jagannath Puri. This festival is celebrated on the 13th and 14th days of the bright fortnight of Chaitra. Deities of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna are taken in procession to the Jagannath Ballava Mat. Jagannath Ballava Mat. There the deities get their dhyana leaves from the garden of the Mat. On the 14th, the leaves are offered to Lord Jagannath and Lady Subhadra and Lord Balarama. So Damanaka is a particular type of a flowering tree, Artemisia indica, its name. In the modern Oriya, it is called Dhyana. It is one of the 2 favorite flowers of Lord Jagannath. The other being Champaka flower, and this is the Dhyana flower. And it is said that Lord Jagannatha comes to the Jagannatha Vallabha garden in Puri to steal these flowers. Aropana means to plant. On this Dwadasi, there is a ritual of planting of the Dhyana trees. So that is a beautiful pastime of Lord Jagannatha. So they are going to plant these trees for the pleasure of Lord Jagannatha. So whenever it blossoms the flowers, they will be offered to Jagannath. So that is from the event's perspective. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. So, people who is in the material world, in the ashramas of Brahmacharyam, Grihastham, who have got desires, for them, whom to worship, to fulfill their desires. So, he has been mentioning so many demigods before, and yesterday he was mentioning to worship, to attain Dharma, the Kama, Moksha, one has to worship Vishnu, and also if, for the protection of his children, one has to worship the forefathers or Pitru Devatas, and for the protection of himself and the family members, and one has to worship the Punya Janas, pious living entities like the devotees of Krishna. And to get more powerfulness, one has to worship the Maruta Devatas. Likewise, yesterday he was mentioning that is the Dharmadha Uttama Shlokam Tantuhu Tanvan Pitrun Yajet Takshakamaha Punyajanan Vojaskamo Marudganan. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami mentioning. So today he is going further within the same sequence. Again, still list of desires of the human beings. They're unlimited. So he is giving one more options. And if anyone wants to fulfill to become a king or to rule over the kingdom or the country, they have to worship the Manu. And if one has to conquer his enemies, or then he has to worship the demons, victory over the enemy. And if one has got so much of sense gratification, he has to worship the moon god. And if he has got no desires at all, then he can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying. So we are in the second canto, third chapter, and verse number 9. Rajyakamo manun devan nirutim tvabicharan yajet kamakamo irit somam akamaha purusham param. So Rajyakamo. So Rajyakamo manun devan. If anyone desiring an empire or kingdom, then one has to worship the Manus, Manun Devan. So Manus are the semi-incarnations of God. Manuo Deva Manuputra. In the beginning, Sutta Goswami was mentioning the Lord takes birth in the Manus, Manuputra, Yada Vidasinaha Kulyaha Sarasaha Syuhu Sahasrashaha. His expansions are unlimited. Krishna's expansions are unlimited. Just like so many rivulets and small rivers going into the big river, likewise his expansions are very big. Likewise, Manus are also coming as a semi-incarnations of God. So if one has desiring an empire or kingdom, he has to worship Manu. Rajyakama Manun Devan. And Niritim Twa Abhicharan Yajet. Niritim Tu Abhicharan Yajet. Niritim are the demons. One has to worship the demons to get desire, who is desiring victory over the enemy. So if we see this one, sometimes in the past, like some people, for example, Ravanasura's child is Meghanada. He used to worship some fire demigod, something to get a powerful chariot, and they worship such kind of in a lonely place. Later on, to win over the enemy, to win over Lord Ramachandra's party. But later on, Vibhishna told that secret to Lakshmana, and then Lakshmana went there and he killed Meghanada there. So to stop worshipping such kind of yajnas and sacrifices. Likewise, we see some kind of this sacrifices. So here, if one was desiring to win over the enemies, one has to worship the demons. And kama kamu ijet somam. If one is desiring more of sense gratification, he has to worship the moon god, Somam. Somam here, once upon a time, the moon, he has taken away the wife of Bruhaspati. It is Tara, Bruhaspati's wife Tara, and he kept Tara for so many days or so, and then later on demigods, they are all complaining to Brahma, and then Brahma came, and then they made release of Tara, and then later on, when Tara begot another child, his name is Buddha, his name or Venus, the planet. He is the deity of the Venus. He is the later on Tara says that one he is born from the moon. So likewise, there is, if one is desiring for kama kamu ijet somam, one has to worship the moon god. And then akamaha purusham param. And if one doesn't have any material desires to be fulfilled, then he has to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Akamaha purusham param, who is transcendental to this material world. Purusham param. So Rajyakamo manun devan niritim tobicharan yajet. Kamakamo yajet somam akamaha purusham param. So translation for this verse. One who desires domination over a kingdom or an empire should worship the Manus. One who desires victory over an enemy should worship the demons. And one who desires sense gratification should worship the moon. But one who desires nothing of material sense enjoyment should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Sanjita Mataji to read the purport?
Hare Krishna. For a liberated person, all the enjoyments listed above are considered to be absolutely useless. Only those who are conditioned by the material modes of external energy are captivated by different types of material enjoyment. In other words, the transcendentalist has no material desires to be fulfilled, whereas the materialist has all types of desire to be fulfilled. The Lord has proclaimed that the materialists who desire material enjoyment and thus seek the favor of different demigods, as above mentioned, are not in control of their senses and so give themselves to nonsense. One should therefore not desire any sort of material enjoyment, being sensible enough to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The leaders of nonsensical persons are still more nonsensical because they preach openly and foolishly that one can worship any form of demigod and get the same result. This sort of preaching is not only against the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita or those of Srimad Bhagavatam, but is also foolish, just as it is foolish to claim that with the purchase of any travel ticket one may reach the same destination. No one can reach Bombay from Delhi by purchasing a ticket for Baroda. It is clearly defined herein that persons impregnated with different desires have different modes of worship, but one who has no desire for material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this worshipping process is called devotional service. Pure devotional service means service to the Lord without any tinge of material desires, including desires for fruitive activity and empiric speculation. For fulfillment of material desires, one has to worship the Supreme. For fulfillment of material desires, one may worship the Supreme Lord, but the result of such worship is different, as will be explained in the next verse. Generally, the Lord does not fulfill anyone's material desires for sense enjoyment, but He awards such benedictions to worshippers of the Lord, for they ultimately come to the point of not desiring material enjoyment. The conclusion is that one must minimize the desires for material enjoyment, and for this one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described as here as Param, or beyond anything material. Sripada Sankaracharya has also stated Narayana Param Vyaktata Vyaktat, Narayana Param Vyaktat. The Supreme Lord is beyond the material encirclement. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
This is Narayana Paru Avyaktat. He is Avyakta. He is
Sorry,
beyond
Prabhu.
material world. Thank you, Mataji. It is very beautiful purport. So here in this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning about the conditioned souls who are captivated by different types of material enjoyment. That is how the conditioned souls, they fall into this material world and trying to fulfill their things, and they are in the bewilderment of their senses. So there are how these living entities are entrapped. Kapiladev Bhagavan explains that tasya tasya jano nonam nayam veda guru vikramam kalyamanopi balino vayoriva ghanavalihi. And they do not understand the power of the time factor. Every moment they are getting tired, their body is getting decayed. They do not recognize that one. Pramotto nidanam. So even though they are seeing that in front of them so many people are dying, and they don't see for themselves, and still they are working hard to maintain their body and family and everything else. and fulfill their desires, buying this one, buying that one. This is my home, London is my home, and UK is my home. This is very beautiful country. These are all by the Kalyamanopi by Vayoriva Ghanavalihi. And so even people who are trying to accumulate so much of wealth, but Yam Yam Madham Upaditya Dukkenu Sukahetave Tam Tam Dhunoti Bhagavan Puman Sochiti Yat Kurite. And they accumulate so much of wealth, but the Lord will take away everything in due course of time as a matter of time. Tam Tam Dhanoti Bhagavan Puman Sochiti Yat Kurite. And the person, he will lament for the things that he loses, which has accumulated. Yadadruvasya dehasya sanubandhasya durmatihi druvani manyite mohat kurukshetra vasunicha. And here, and wherever he goes, jantarvibhava etasmin yam yam yom yonim anurajet tasyam salabate nirutam navirjate. Wherever he goes, he wanted to enjoy. He thinks that it is permanent, and he doesn't want to live. Either it is a dog body or cat body he is living with, he wanted to stay in the similar conditions. He doesn't want to leave his body. It doesn't matter, it is a hellish plan, hellish body also. Narkastopi dehim vai napuman michati. Even though that's body, if we see there are sometimes dogs going in a street, even some two legs are they fall under a vehicle, and then still two legs are not working, but still it is trying to go and eat and trying to live itself. That is narkastopi dehim vai napuman michati. He doesn't want to leave that body. Narakyam niruto satyam devamaya vimohitaha. And he thinks Atmajaya Sutagara Pasu Dravina Bandhushu Niroda Mola Hridaya Atmanam Bahumanyate. And whatever the related to the body, everything, he thinks that it belongs to him. And then he works. Likewise, Yatagav Nasiprotaha Sancham Baddhanama Bihi. He is just like that, he is entangled in this material world. So that is kind of material entanglement. And out of all these things, the most powerful, stringent thing is Akshipta Atmendri Hastrinam Asitinam Cha Maya Raho Rachita Yahala Paihi Shishunam Kalabhashinam. And when he attachment to the woman and Raho Rachita Yahala Paihi, these are more strongest relation, bondage. So here Prabhupada is condemning all such kind of different material enjoyments. But whereas transcendentalist has no material desires to be fulfilled at all. Otherwise, it will be keep on going on. It is the pravritti dharma. It is ascending process. There is no end for it. And whoever is asanga sastrena dhudena chitva, Krishna says, asanga sastrena dhudena chitva. And then further, Prabhupada is mentioning about so one should therefore not desire any sort of material enjoyment, and being only keeping the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the only single point of destination and objective. And also here they are fully talking about the foolish people. One can worship any god and still they reach the same thing, because they don't see the body anymore. They think that beyond that everything is the same thing. But the consciousness, mind, intelligence, and ego, those are still remains with the soul. They are not yet purified, but they do not see that. That's why they are foolish. And Prabhupada is giving an explanation. So buying a Bombay ticket, one can go only up to Bombay, not to the Delhi or not to the Baroda. So this is worshipping of Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is called devotional service. So without any tinge of material desires. Okay, that is explained here. So this one can experience when the body is progressing, all these desires. If he is a materialistic person, his desires will be more and more and increasing. Even the old body, he wanted to enjoy going somewhere outside in the sense gratification. But whereas the devotee, so he sees what is happening to the body in the progress of time. That is, we need the fastings, 2 days of fasting on Ekadasis. like devotees, so they would observe all these things. Likewise, Prabhupada is explaining here. So, and conclusion is that one must minimize the desires for sense, for material enjoyment, and for this one should worship Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is desired here as Param, beyond the material world. And Shankaracharya's statement is the Narayana Paro Avyaktad. He is the Avyakta. He is beyond this material world. Okay, so that is from Srila Prabhupada's purport. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying about the Rajya Kama Manundeva Nirutim Tobicharan Yajet Kama Kamu Somam Akamaha Purusham Param. Different demigods, and if one doesn't have any desires, then one has to worship Krishna. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly move into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today, letter to Hansadatta, February 4th, 1970, Los Angeles. It is a tiny letter. Can I request any unallocated devotee to read this letter?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read, please?
Yes, Mataji, please.
My dear Hans Datta, please accept my blessings. I hope you have safely reached your place. I have received letters from London that they are organizing World Sankirtana party very seriously. Therefore, it would be better if you go first to London and see how things are going on. Then you may go to Germany if it is needed. They have asked me to send Vishnujan, but I think if Vishnujan goes from Los Angeles, there is no second man to organize the street Sankirtan here. Practically, in his absence, his place cannot be immediately replaced. So, but if you go to London and join the Sankirtan party, I think the vacancy there will be filled up. So I shall be glad to hear from you what you decide to do. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji?
So in this letter, Prabhupada is asking for Hans Datta if he has reached London safely, and he has been instructing him to not to go to Germany and observe what's happening in London for the Sankirtan party, as they are organizing it. I think that's it, Prabhu. He doesn't want him to leave his place immediately. That's what I understood, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, just to make the Sankirtana movement going on without any obstacles or holding back. So it has to go in all places parallelly, so that all places will be progressed. And this just kind of adjustment Prabhupada is mentioning. Thank you so much, Mataji. So that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. Okay. So that's all from Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got Bhagavad Gita session. And also now after now session, we are continuing with our Bhagavatam and also the recitation of Bhagavatam. And dear devotees, if you have got anything to share, kindly share. Otherwise, we shall move on to the recitation part. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. And just in this letter, the sentence, from the sentence, it looks a bit confusing. So basically, Prabhupada is asking Hansa Datta that he should go for the Sankirtan party in Germany, but Vishnujan, because he wants him to stay in Los Angeles because there's no Sankirtan. Maybe he was the lead Kirtaniya, so if he goes, then the Sankirtan movement will be hampered. So he's saying he cannot be replaced, but if you go to London, then somebody else can replace his place. That's what I think is mentioning here.
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's kind of adjustment. So to keep Sankirtana party keep going on. Okay, so that is a very beautiful part of it. Okay, so we shall any other updates, dear devotees, before we trying to recite Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter. Okay, so in that case, we shall move to the recitation part. So dear devotees, so I think you have selected the voting buttons that is shared in the group yesterday. Now let me see that devotees who have selected, voted, and then we go accordingly. So 4 devotees only voted. I request other devotees also take part who have not yet voted. So with the first voting, 1 to 5 verses, Sanskrit and English translations. Can I request Hemlata Mataji to recite Hare Krishna with invocation prayers, please.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shukh Uvacha. Evam pura dharanayat yoni narshthastmitim prayavarudhya tushtayat तथा सस्जेर्दम मोघदृष्टि यर्थाप्याप्यात् प्राग्व्यवसाय बुद्धिः. Sri Sukha Goswami said, formerly prior to the manifestation of the cosmos, Lord Brahma, by meditating on the Virat Rupa, regained his lost consciousness by appeasing the Lord. Thus, he was able to rebuild the creation as it was before.
If you wanted Devanagari also, please let me know. I shall enable it.
I have book, Prabhu. I'm reading from my book in Devanagari. Text 2. Sabdasya hi brahmana esh pantha yannami dhrayati dhir parthayehe paribhravan sahatra na vindate arthan maya mae vasnaya shayanaha. The way of presentation of Vedic sound is so bewildering that it directs the intelligence of the people to meaningless things, like the heavenly kingdoms. The conditioned soul hover in dreams of such heavenly illusionary pleasures, but actually they do not relish any tangible happiness in such places. Text 3. अतः कविनार्मसूयावदर्थः स्याद् प्रमतो व्यवसाय बुद्धिः सिद्धे अन्यन्यार्थे नयतेत तत्र परिश्रमं तत्र समीक्षमाणः. For this reason, the enlightened person should endeavor only for the minimum necessities of life, while in the world of names, he should be intelligently fixed and never endeavor for unwanted things, being competent to perceive practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing. Text 4. Satyam shito kim kashipoh prayase ब्राहो स्वसिधे उपब्रहणे किम सत्यंजुलो किम पुरुधान पात्र्या दिग्गल कलादो सति किम दुकुलहे. When there are ample earthly flats to lie on, what is the necessity of cots and beds? When one can use his own arms, what is the necessity of a pillow? When one can use the palms of his hands, what is the necessity of varieties of utensils? When there is ample covering or skins of trees, what is the necessity of clothings? Text 5. चिराणि किं पथि न सन्ति दिशन्ति भिक्षां नैव्याङ्गिपां परिभृतः सरितोऽप्यशून्यं रुद्रगुहा किं जितोऽवनति नों सनानां कस्मात् भजयन्ति कवयो धनानधान् Are there no torn clothes lying on the common road? Do the trees which exist for maintaining others no longer give alms in charity? Do the rivers, being dried up, no longer supply water to the thirsty? Are the caves of mountains now closed? Or above all, does the Almighty God not protect the fully surrendered souls? Why then do the learned says go to the flatter those who are intoxicated by hard-earned wealth? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully recited. Thank you. Can I request Meena Mataji next? Hare Krishna, Meena Mataji, you are unmute.
Hare Krishna. एवं स्वचितिं स्वतरेव सिद्ध आत्मा प्रियोऽथो भगवानन्तो त्वं निर्वतो नयताथो भजेत संसारहेतु परमश्च यत्र. Thus being fixed, one must render service into the super soul situated in one's own heart by his omnipotency, because he is the almighty personality of Godhead, eternal and unlimited. He is. Sorry, can you do up? Sorry, I cannot read that. Yeah. Thus being fixed, one must render service into the super soul situated in one's own heart by his omnipotency, because he is the almighty personality of Godhead, eternal and unlimited. He is the ultimate goal of life, and by worshipping him, one can end the course of the conditional state of existence. कस्थात्वनादृत्य परानुचिन्ता वृत्ति प्रशून सती नाम क्रुयात् प्रशञ्जनं पतितं वेदरण्यां स्वकर्मजानं परितापाचुमाशम्. Who else but the gross materialistic will neglect such transcendental thought and take to the non-permanent names only, seeing the mass of people following in the river of suffering as the consequence of acquiring the result of their own work. केचित् स्वदेहातदयावकाशे प्रादेशमात्रं पुरुषं वसन्तं चतुर्भुजं कञ्जरथा सशङ्ख गदाधरं धारणया स्मरन्ति. Others conceive of the personality of Godhead residing within the body in the region of the heart and measuring only 8 inches, with 4 hands, carrying a lotus, a wheel of a chariot, a console, and a club, respectively. प्रसन्नवक्त्रं नलिनायते क्षणं कदम्बकीचकपीसवासं लसन्नमहारत्नहिरण्यमयान्दं स्फुरन्महारत्नकिरीटकुण्डलम्. His mouth expressed his happiness, his eyes spread like the petal of a lotus, and his garments yellowish like the saffron of a kadamani flowers, and bedecked and valuable jewels. His ornaments are all made of gold, set with jewels, and he wears a glowing headdress and earring. उनीदरत्पदङ्चङ्ककणिकालये योगेश्वरास्थापितपादपल्लवम् श्रीलक्षणं कौस्तुभरन्तकन्धर मलानलाक्ष्या वनमालया चित्तम्. His lotus feet are placed over the holes of the lotus like heart of a great mystic. On his chest is the Kastumba jewel engraved with a beautiful calf, and there are other jewels on his shoulders. His complete torso is garlanded with fresh flowers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully recited. Thank you so much. Can I request next Radha Sevaka Mataji?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vibhustitam me khalayan gulyakher mahadhanerna pura kankanadibihi snigdhamala kunchita nila kuntale virochamana hasta pesalam. He is well decorated with an ornamental wreath around his waist and rings studded with valuable jewels on his fingers. His leglets, his bangles, his oiled hair curling with a bluish tint, and his beautiful smiling face are all very pleasing. Adina Leela Hasite Kshanolasad Bhanga Samsuchita Bhuri Anugram Ikseta Chintamayamenamishwaram Yavan Manodharanna Yavitishtate. The Lord's magnanimous pastimes and the glowing glancing of his smiling face are all indications of his intensive benedictions. One must therefore concentrate on this transcendental form of the Lord as long as the mind can be fixed on him by meditation. Akeikasho anangani dhyanu bhavayat padadiyava dashitam gadapritha jitam stanam apohya dharayet param shuddhayiti dhiryatha yatha. The process of meditation should begin from the lotus feet of the Lord and progress to his smiling face. The meditation should be concentrated upon the lotus feet, then the calves, then the thighs, and in this way higher and higher. The more the mind becomes fixed upon the different parts of the limbs, one after another, the more the intelligence becomes purified. Yavanna jayata paravares asmin Vishveshware drashtari bhakti yogaha tavat stavya purushasya rupam kriyavasane prayata smareta. Unless the gross materialist develops a sense of loving service unto the Supreme Lord, the seer of both the transcendental and material worlds, he should remember or meditate upon the universal form of the Lord at the end of his prescribed duties. Sthiram sukham chasanamashthito yatir yada jihasurimavangalokamam kale cha deshe cha mano nasachayet pranana nichena manasachitasu. O King, whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be perplexed about the proper time or place, but should comfortably sit without being disturbed, and regulating the air life should control the senses by the mind.
Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully recited. Thank you so much. Can I request Saranya Mataji next, please?
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Manasva buddhyatmalaya niyamya kshetrajna edam ninayet tam atmani atmanam atmani avarudhya dhiro labdho pashdir virameda krityat. Thereafter, the yogi should merge his mind by his unalloyed intelligence into the living entity, and then merge the living entity into the super self. And by doing this, the fully satisfied living entity becomes situated in the supreme stage of satisfaction, so that he ceases from all other activities. Nayatra kalo animisham para prabhu kuto no deva jagadam ya ishire nayatra sattvam narajas tamascha navai vikaro na mahan pradhanam. In that transcendental state of Labdho-Pashandi, there is no supreme of devastating time which controls even the celestial demigods who are empowered to rule over mundane creature, and what to speak of the demigods themselves. Nor is there the mode of material goodness, nor passion, nor ignorance, nor even the false ego, nor the material causal ocean, nor the material nature. Param padam Vaishnavam Atmandi tad Nedi Neti Adad Ussisrikshavaha Visrujya Dhauratmyam Ananya Sauhridha Hrido Paguhyaraha Padam Pade Pade. The transcendentalists decide to avoid everything godless, for they know that the supreme situation in which everything is related with the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Therefore, a pure devotee who is in absolute harmony with the Lord does not create perplexities, but worship the lotus feet of the Lord at every moment, taking them into his heart. Idam munis Tubaramedvyavastido Vijnana Drigvirya Suraditasyaha Pashnipidya Gudam Tado Anilam Sthaneshu Sunyamaye Jidaklamaha. By the strength of scientific knowledge, one should be well situated in absolute realization and thus be able to extinguish all material desires. One should then give up the material body by blocking the air hole through which his stool is evacuated with the heel of one's foot, and by lifting the life air from one place to another in the 6 primary places. Nabhyam stidam hridi adiropya tasmad udanagатयोरशीतं nayen munihi tado anushandhya diya manashvi swatalu moolam sanaghair nayetha. The meditative devotee should slowly push up the life air from the navel to the heart, from there to the chest, and from there to the root of the palate. He should search out the proper places with intelligence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very
Sorry
beautifully.
for the mistake. Prabhu, I'm sorry. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Can I request, so there are no allocations for these verses, can I request Gaurangi Mataji to recite 21 to 25?
Okay, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Tasmadabhruvarat narat munita niruddha sabdayatano anapichaha istito muhurtar dhamakunta desi nirvidya murdhan brisajet param gataha. Translation. Thereafter the bhakti yogi should push the live air up between the eyebrows and then blocking the seven outlets of the live air. He should maintain his aim for going back home, back to Godhead. If he is completely free from all desire for material enjoyment, he should then reach the uh, cerebral whole and give up his material uh, continuation, having gone to the Supreme. Text 22. Yadi prayasan ripaparmamestam Baihaya sanamodayad viharam Ashtadipatyam gunasannibai Sahaiva gachen mansendriyasva. Translation. However, O king, if a yogi maintain a desire for improved material enjoyment, like transformation to the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, or the achievement of the eightfold performance, travel in outer space with the Bhayasa, or a solution in one of the millions of plants. Then he has to take away with him the materially molded mind and sense. Text 23. योगेश्वराणां गतिमाहुरन्तर बहिस्त्रिलोक्यः पावनान्तरात्मनां न कर्मभिस्तां गतिमाप्नुवन्ति विद्यातपयोगसमाधिभाजम्. Translation. The transcendentalists are concerned with the spiritual body as such by the strength of their devotional service, austerities, mystic power, and transcendental knowledge. Their movement are unrested within and beyond the material worlds. The fruitive workers or the gross materialists can never move in such in unrestricted manner. 24. Vaisanaram yati vihaya sagataha susumnaya brahmapathena sochisa viduta kalko artha harirudastat prayati chakram nripasai sumaram. Translation. O king, when such a mystic passes over the Milky Way by the illuminating Sasmana to reach the highest planet, Brahmaloka. He goes first to Vaisnara, the plan of the deity of fire, wherein he become completely cleansed of all contamination, and thereafter he still goes higher to the circle of Sisumatra to relate with Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. Text 25. Tadvisonabhim totivartya vishnor niyasad virajenatmanekaha namaskrityam brahmavidam-upaiti kalpasuno sadvibodharamante. Translation. This Saisumata, the pivot for the turning of the complete universe, and it is called the navel of Vishnu, Garbhogadasai Vishnu. The yogi alone goes beyond this circle of Sismatra and attain the planet Mahaloka, where purified signs like Virgo enjoy a duration of life of is I cannot 4 crore 3 lakhs or I don't know, Prabhuji. 43 crores, Prabhuji.
Yes.
43 crores solar years. This planet is worshipable even for saints who are transcendentally situated.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautifully recited and read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
This is 4.3 billion years. Okay, so can I request next devotee? This is also not allocated. Can I request if Jahna Kanya Mataji is available to do it, or can if Jahna Kanya is not available, then you can do Mataji.
I think he's left. I think she said he left.
Mataji. Okay, yeah, Mataji sent a message. Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Are you happy to say?
I didn't get any planning, but I could try.
Yes,
I'm going to the temple. I'm going to that Wembley doing book distribution there.
Yes, Mataji, you can try. Yes.
I can try. Hare Krishna. This one here. Atho, yes?
Yes, Mataji.
Athoantasya mukhanalena dandayam manam sanirikshya vishvam niryati siddheshwa swarayastadish Disniyam yadvai paradhayam tadu paramisyam. Translation. I'm on the phone, Prabhu, sorry. So I can hardly see very well. At the time of the final devastation of the complete universe, the end of the duration of Brahma's life, a flame of fire emanates from the mouth of Ananta, from the bottom of the universe. The yogi sees all the planets of the universe burning to ashes, and thus he leaves for Satyaloka by airplanes used by the great purified souls. Can you move it up, please? The duration of life in Satyaloka is calculated to be 15 billion 480 million years. Is that right? 369, no. 15 trillion 480 million years. Is that right, Prabhu?
Billion, yes.
Brilliant. Yes, trillions. I can't see very. Okay, the next one. Hare Krishna. Nayatra sokuna jarana mrityur nartirna chadvigat ritye kurtas tasit yachit tatoda kripayam nidam vidam durata dukapabhavanu darsano not. Translation. In that planet of Satyaloka, there is neither bereavement, nor old age, nor death. There is no pain of any kind, and therefore there are no anxieties, save that sometimes it's due to consciousness. There is a feeling of compassion for those unaware of the process of devotional service, who are subjected to unsurpassable miseries in the material world. The next one, Hare Krishna. Tato vishesham patipadya nibhayas tanatmanapo nalan murtir atvaran jyoti maya vayum upetya kale vayurat vachimanakam brihad atmalingam. After reaching Satyaloka, the devotee is specifically able to be incorporated fearlessly by the subtle body identifies similar to that of the gross body, and one after another we gradually attain stages of existence from earthly to watery, fiery, glowing, and airy, until he reaches the ethereal stage. Granena gadham rasena vaisrasam rupam cha drishtya swansanam twachaiva shrutena chopitya nabho gunatvam pranena chakutim upaiti yogi. The devotee thus surpasses the subtle objects of different senses, like aroma by smelling, the palate by the tasting, vision by seeing forms, touch by contacting, the vibrations of the air by ethereal identification, and the sense organs by material activities. Which one? Okay, this one, Sabhuta.
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Okay. Sabhuta saksme driya sanekarsam manomayam devamayam vikaryam samsadya gatya sahatena yati yati vignana tattvam gunasanirodham. The devotee, thus surpassing the gross and the subtle forms of coverings, enters the plane of egoism, and in that way, in that status, he merges the material modes of nature, ignorance and passion, in this point of neutralization, and thus reaches egoism in goodness. After this, all egoism is merged in the Mahat Tattva, and he comes to the point of pure self-realization.
Very beautifully recited and read, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Sorry, I was rushing. Haribol. Thank you, everybody. You did well, extremely well, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Can I request Sanchita Mataji next, please?
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tena atmanam upaiti shantam anandam anandamayo avashane etam gatim bhagavatim gato yaha savai punarneha vishajyate anga. The only pure soul can attain the perfection of associating with the personality of Godhead in complete bliss and satisfaction in his constitutional state. Whoever is able to renovate such devotional perfection is never again attracted by this material world, and he never returns. Ete Shriti te Nripa Vedgite Tavyabhi Prishte cha Sanatane cha Ye vai pura brahman ahatushta aradhito bhagwan vasudevaha. Your Majesty Maharaj Parikshit, know that all that I have described in reply to your proper inquiry is just according to the version of the Vedas, and it is eternal truth. This was described personally by Lord Krishna unto Brahma, with whom the Lord was satisfied upon being properly worshipped. Na yato anvyashiva pantha vishata sansrita viha vasudeve bhagavati bhakti yoga yato bhavet. For those who are wandering in the material universe, there is no more auspicious means of deliverance than what is aimed at in the direct devotional service of Lord Krishna. Bhagwan Brahma kartasnayena trir anvikashya manishaya tad adhyavasat kutostho ratir atman yatho bhavet. The great personality Brahma, with great attention and the concentration of the mind, studied the Vedas 3 times, and after scrutinizingly examining them, he ascertained that attraction for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is the highest perfection of religion. Bhagwan Sarva Bhuteshu Lakshita Swatmana Harihi Drishyer Buddhya Drashta Lakshaner Anumapakaihi. The personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is in every living being along with the individual soul, and in fact is perceived and hypothesized in our acts of seeing and taking help from the intelligence. Tasma Sarvatmana Rajan Harihi Sarvatra Sarvada Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Smartavyo Bhagwanam. O Lord, it is therefore essential that every human being hear about, glorify, and remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, always and everywhere. पिबन्ति ये भगवद् आत्मनः सतां कथामृत श्रवणपुटेषु संहृतं पुनन्ति ते विषयो विदूषिताशयं व्रजन्ति तच्चरणसरोरुहान्तिकम्. Those who drink through oral reception, fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of the devotees, purify the polluted aim of life, known as material enjoyment, and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. Lots of mistake, Prabhu, please forgive me.
Very beautifully recited, Mataji. Thank you so much. It is very wonderful. Thank you so much, all the devotees. You have done all recitations perfectly and very beautifully. This is most auspicious to hear. Okay, so that is from the recitations part. So we shall move into the next part of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Chatushloki Bhagavata, Lord is speaking, Brahmadeva, Lord is speaking to Brahmadeva all about it, and then after Lord has disappeared from the vision of Brahma, Brahma started creating the universe. So we are in the second canto, 9th chapter, and we are at the end of last 3 verses. So this is okay last time. So we have been up to 43 verses. Okay, so in the 43 verse, so where so this verses Sukdev Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj here. So this is, let me just go into that one as well. So this is Tushtam Nishamya Pitram Lokanam Prapitamaham Devashihi Paripapracha Bhavan Yanman Anupruchati. O Narada, Parikshit Maharaj, you have asked me all these things to say about the Lord's pastimes and everything else. Likewise, similarly, when Narada inquired from Brahma, then Brahma also says this one, and Brahma, when he asked the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, similarly, the Lord spoke to Brahma in the similar way. So likewise, so everywhere it is Tadvidya Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshinte Jnanam Jnanaha Tattvadarshinaha. Like Brahma, he did like a Dandavat Pranam to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as he sees the Lord, he just fall on the floor, just like a Dandavat. He meant it is very beautiful, like Taddarshan Ahlada Pariplut Antaro Prushatanhu Prema Bharashurulocanaha Nanama Padam Bujum Asya Viswasurup Nanama. He just fall like a stick in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma with his 4 heads. Yat Paramahamsena Patadigamite. That is the ultimate thing for the Paramahamsas. That is what they desire. Yat Paramhamsena Patadigamyate, that is the destination, that lotus feet of the Lord, falling Dandavat Pranam. So similarly, when Parikshit also has done this Dandavat Pranam in front of Sukadeva Goswami, and similarly Narada Muni also in front of Brahma. That is one, if they are pleased, then they will reveal all the knowledge. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj. Next further, he's saying that about giving the small little bit of history about the Bhagavatam, whatever the Lord spoke to Brahma. These are the 3 little verses. So we shall go into this one. Tasmaidam Bhagavatam Puranam Dasalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Pritaha Putraya Bhota Kuru Tasma idam Bhagavatam. So after that, Tasma idam Bhagavatam.
this Bhagavatam, whatever, oh Parikshit, whatever I am speaking to you, I told you in the beginning that I'm going to speak this Srimad Bhagavatam, which I have received from my father. Pitudvaipayanad aham. I have taken this Bhagavatam from my father. I have studied carefully, scrutinizingly, even though parinishitopi nairbhunya uttama shloka chetasam. Even though I am a parinishti, still I have studied Srimad Bhagavatam. So that Tasmaidam Bhagavatam, that glories of the Lord or the saints of the Lord. Tasmaidam Bhagavatam Puranam Dasalakshanam. And this is the Vedic supplement. Puranam, it contains Dasalakshanam, 10 characteristics. Proktam Bhagavata Praha Pritaha Putraya Bhotakurut. Proktam, it was described Proktam Bhagavata Praha, by the personality of Godhead. Bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead. Praha, and it is said. The Lord spoke to Praha, Pritaha Putraya Bhotakurut. And then the same knowledge, Bhagavata Praha, Pritaha Putraya Bhotakurut, and with so much of pleasing, Pritaha Putraya Bhotakurut. And the same knowledge Brahma spoke to his son Narada Muni with so much of pleasing and satisfaction unto his son. He spoke that one. Bhotakurut. And Brahma is called creator of the universe. Bhotakurut. So Tasma idam Bhagavatam Puranam Dasalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Pritaha Putraya Bhotakurut. So translation for this was, thereupon the supplementary Vedic literature, the Srimad Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead and which contains 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by the father Brahma to his son Narada Muni. So can I request any devotee to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Although the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken in 4 verses, it had 10 characteristics which will be explained in the next chapter. In the 4 verses, it is first said that the Lord existed before the creation, and thus the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam includes the Vedant, Apahorism, Janmadi Asya. Janmadi Asya is the beginning. Yet the 4 verses in which it is said that the Lord is the root of everything, that be beginning from the creation up to the supreme abode of the Lord, naturally explains the 10 characteristics. One should not misunderstand by wrong interpretation that the Lord spoke only 4 verses and that therefore all the rest of the 17,099 4 verses are useless. The 10 characteristics, as will be explained in the next chapter, require so many verses just to explain them properly. Brahmaji had also advised Narada previously that he should expand the idea he had heard from Brahmaji. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed this to Srila Rupa Goswami in a nutshell. But the disciple Rupa Goswami expanded this very elaborately, and the same subject was further expanded by Jiva Goswami and even further by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We are just trying to follow in the footsteps of all these authorities. So Srimad Bhagavatam is not like ordinary fiction or mundane literature. It is unlimited in strength, and however, one may expand it according to one's ability. Bhagavatam still cannot be finished by such expansion. Srimad Bhagavatam, being the sound representation of the Lord, is simultaneously explained in 4 verses, in 4 billion verses, all the same. In as much as the Lord is smaller than the atom and bigger than the unlimited sky, such is the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful. Thank you so
Bhagavad
much.
Gita. Thank you.
So if we see how many literatures, books and songs we have got in just in our movement itself, it is immeasurable. So this is coming, even the Lord spoke here in the Supreme Lord spoke to Brahma in 4 verses. And then he spoke further as well. And the Lord spoke in different places. And Krishna directly spoke to Arjuna in the Srimad Kurukshetra battle, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Out of 700 verses, more than 500 verses, the Lord spoke. That is the full knowledge, extracting all the Vedas, Upanishads, everything, putting in a nutshell of Srimad Bhagavad-gita. So whatever is in the Bhagavad Gita, it is elaborately with the past tense explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam and all the Puranas. That's why it is called Puranam Dasalakshanam. It contains, what are those things? So just a glimpse of it is the Atra Sargo Visargasha Sthanam Poshanam Vatayaha Manvantara Ishanukata Nirodha Muktihi Ashrayaha. So Sarga, Visarga, primary creation, secondary creation, Sthanam. It is the Sthanam is the it is what it is called, all kinds of planetary system. Atra Sargo Visarga, Visargasha Sthanam Poshanam, maintenance. And Votayaha, this is the impetus. And Manvantaram, about the Manvantaras. Ishanukata, and all the Lord's pastimes. Ishanukata, Manvantara, Ishanukata, Nirodha, Muktirashrayaha. Nirodha is the destruction or the layam, and Muktihi Ashrayaha, and ultimate shelter is the Mukti is the liberation, and then all these 10 topics taking the shelter of Ashrayaha. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is ultimate. So these are the Puranam Dasalakshanam. So here Prabhupada is explaining all this in a nutshell of in the purport. So including Janmadhyasya Yatonvayat Itarashad. It is the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it contains, so here the 4 verses, which is, it is said that Lord is the root of everything that be, beginning from the creation up to the supreme abode of the Lord. And everything it can explain the 10 characteristics. These are the selection. And it contains 18,000 shlokas, and Prabhupada is mentioning to explain about those 4 verses, it expands 18,000. And later on, so Prabhupada is giving this Chaitanya Charitam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this one, instructed to Srila Rupa Goswami in a nutshell, similarly. And Rupa Goswami has given immense treasure of the literatures. And likewise, later on, all our acharyas, and then Jiva Goswami, later on Vishwanath Chakravarti, and then Prabhupada has brought so much of things, so many volumes of books, 18 books. And then further, so many Prabhupada's disciples, they are innumerable. They have expanded so many books at all, so many books. And not only that, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami has given so many other literatures. And his disciples, see, that is expanding and expanding. Even Prabhupada is mentioning, however, one may expand it according to one's own ability. Its strength cannot be finished by, that is, Prabhupada is saying it is the 4 billion verses all the same. Either 4 shlokas, or 18,000 shlokas, or millions of shlokas, or 4 billion. So it cannot be finished at any point of time. It is unlimited. So here, Anantadeva, he has been glorifying these pastimes of the Lord with his thousands of hoods, mouths. Nantam vidamyaham ame munyoggarajaste maya balasya purushasya kutovaraye gayan gunan dasashatarana adidevaha sheshodinapi samavasyati nasyaparam. So he has been for time immemorial with Dashanana, Dasasata Aranaha, with Dasasata is the Sata is 100, Dasa is the 10 hundreds, that is thousands of faces. Adidevaha, the Supreme Lord, he by his expansion with Shesha, he has been glorifying the Supreme Lord. Gayan Gunan, but Samavasyati Nasya Param. Na asya param, he could not complete all of these things. That is the Lord's glories. Everything is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so that is from this purport. Dear devotees, if you have got any questions in this one, kindly raise, or if you wanted to add anything, please add. Hare Krishna. So even though here all the literatures are increasing, but unfortunately human life is decreasing because people are becoming so greedy to enjoy very quickly, earn very quickly. That's why their lifespan is coming very quickly, coming to end very quickly. So that's why in the olden days, people, they do not try to fulfill their desires not very quickly. Let it go very slowly. Let it go very slowly. To accumulate maybe 100,000 rupees, it takes so many years to accumulate it. Whatever the money comes, it's just sufficient for the family expenses. That is the way of the Vedic tradition. When there is a money is getting accumulated, it will bring only the anxiety to protect it. But people are sufficient in that way. Just whatever is there, and be happy with it. That was the Vedic tradition. So here, the immense treasure of literatures, it will take so much of time to read all of things. But that's why Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Braje. Just only glorifying Krishna is sufficient for us. Prabhupada brought that one. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's moment to all of us. Okay, so any other additions, dear devotees? Okay, so if there are no questions, we just cover. There are 2 more shlokas only. We just try to cover 1 more shloka, or we shall stop. It is already 53 past 7 o'clock. If this is giving Naradaha Praha Munaye Saraswatyah Tatendrupa Jayate Brahma Paramam Vyasayam Amita Tejase. Here Sukadeva Goswami is saying, later on, Brahma gave to his son Narada Muni, Naradaha Praha Munaye Saraswatyaha Tatendrupa. And Narada Muni spoke to the sage Vyasadeva, who is residing at the Saraswati river. Saraswatyah Tatendrupa, O king. Narada spoke to Vyasadeva, nearer to the Saraswati river. Dhyayate Brahma Paramam. And when Narada Vyasadeva, he was in the Dhyayate Brahma Paramam, he was in the meditation to give all the literatures to the these people of this material world. Dhyayate Brahma Paramam. Vyasaya Amita Tejase. This Vyasadeva, who is Amita Tejase, is so much a powerful person. Amita, unlimited. So that is how that Bhagavatam came. This is the lineage of Bhagavatam. Lord to the Brahma, Supreme Lord to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva to Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, he also mentioned, Idam Bhagavatam Nam Puranam Brahma Samhitam Aditavan Dwaparadu Pitudvaipayanad Aham. I have taken this Srimad Bhagavatam from my father. And here, now he has given before the lineage of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is Naradaha Praha Munaye Saraswatyaha Tatendrupa Jayate Brahma Parama Vyasaya Amita Tejase. So translation for this verse. In succession, O king, the great sage Narada instructed Srimad Bhagavatam onto the unlimitedly powerful Vyasadeva, who meditated in devotional service upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, on the bank of the river Saraswati. River Saraswati. This is lineage of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihite Amale Apasyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Chatad Apashriyam. So when Vyasadeva is in the meditation of devotional service, he was on the meditation 2 times. Vyasadeva on the meditation At the time, he sees that people are so much dull. Mandaha sumanda matayo manda bhagya rupudrutaha. That is the people of this material world. Dull and unfortunate, misguided, and always lamenting and tormented by the nature. So likewise, and he sees, and with so much of compassion, he has given Vedas splitting into 4 and gave to the Jaimini Muni, Paila, and Vaisampayana Rishis. Likewise, he has given to his disciples and Romaharshana all the Puranas, and he expanded all the. But still, he was not happy. But at that time, Narada Muni came there, and then Narada Muni says, "Oh Vyasadeva, you have given everything, but you did not explain about the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna enough, sufficiently. That's why it is you're not satisfied." And that is the first kind of meditation, Vyasadev's. After Narada's instruction, again Bhakti Yogena Manasi, second time he started meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And at that time, he has seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the illusory energy of the Lord, which is next to the Krishna itself, backside of Krishna. Mayam cha tadapashrayam. So later on, when he was in the devotional service, meditating on the devotional service, then he could see everything. Then only the Srimad Bhagavatam has come into the picture. Anadophasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokchaje. Lokasya ajanato vidbhan chakre satpata samhitam. This is the Satpatha Samhita for the pure souls. If anyone has got any kind of contamination in the heart, they cannot understand very easily that Srimad Bhagavatam. It is Paramahamsanam, Tada Paramahamsanam, Muninam, Amalapmanam, Bhakti Yoga Vidanadham, Katam Pashyemi Hisriha, Kunti Mata statement. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Purana. So this is how the lineage of it. So now we are nearly 8 o'clock. So I stop here. We continue the purport from here in the coming Saturday. So it is very beautiful. I thought we are going to finish this one, and then we are going to enter into the description of kingdom of God. That is very, very beautiful thing. Okay, so I stop. And dear devotees, if you have got anything to add, or you wanted to share anything, you wanted to ask anything, kindly share and speak out. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I just wanted to know, did Sukdev Goswami write any literature?
No.
Okay. So, so apart from speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam and all, what else did he do? Because I haven't heard much about Sukdev Goswami. It's just in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, Mataji. So Sukadeva Goswami, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, very few statements he appears at the place in the beginning, when as soon as he was in the womb of his mother for 16 years.
Okay.
And then as soon as he took birth, and then without taking any ceremonies, like sannyas ceremonies, he was leaving the home. So Vyasadeva was lamenting at that time, "Oh my child, don't leave." And he was attached to his son. And when Sukadeva Goswami was going, the past time when Vyasadeva was calling him, and all the trees are responding to Vyasadeva, what instead of Sukadeva Goswami. So that means Sukadeva Goswami is in union with the Brahman. So that is his stage. He is completely, by birth itself, he is a liberated soul. That is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the second chapter, I think. First 2 slokas explains about Sukadeva Goswami. Later, in the 4th chapter, 5th chapter also, description of it. And later on, we see pastimes of Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit in the later chapters. And then whenever Sukadeva Goswami spoke complete Srimad Bhagavatam and leaves that place, and then Parikshit leaves his body. Takshaka came, and then That is what we could see from the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are other Puranas also. They speak about Sukadeva Goswami. But whenever the time comes, we'll discuss those things. Radha Sevaka Mataji, you wanted to say Mataji something?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. He's also in this transcendental world. He's also the para of Srimati Radharani.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's a whole story about how he comes. There's a whole backstory as well.
Yes, the pastime of Sukadeva Goswami before he take a birth in the womb of Vyasadeva's wife, Bitika. So previously in his previous life, he was a parrot of Radharani, and that parrot was once went to the Kailasa, and then when Lord Shiva was speaking Bhagavatam to Mother Parvati, and parrot was hearing, and Mother Parvati, when she went to sleep, and then still this parrot was listening and trying to respond, and the Lord Shankara later sees that this Srimad Bhagavatam cannot be heard by non-devotees, but this parrot was hearing, and he was trying to kill that parrot and chasing. At the time he came to the Vyasadeva ashrama, and there Vyasadeva's wife Bitika, she was yawning, and the parrot entered into the mouth of Vyasadeva's wife, and it stayed in the womb. Likewise, that story goes, and they didn't come out. And then Lord Shankara spoke to Vyasadeva, and then Vyasadeva says, "Okay, now it is under my protection, so you do not have to worry about it." Vyasadeva says like that to Lord Shankara, and then that's where it ends about his pastime of previous life. And then he took a birth as a 16-year-old boy in the home of Vyasadeva. That's why sometimes he is mentioned 16-year-old boy, even though at Parikshit place he was mentioned Dwa Asta, that is 16 years. But questioning of the age of the sages and those things, it is not recommended in the scriptures also, but based on the time and circumstances, it is explained. And here, Vyasadeva is the son of Parashara Muni. Parashara Muni is son of Shakti Muni. Shakti Muni is the son of Vasistha Muni. Vasistha Muni is the spiritual master to Lord Ramachandra and all his ancestors, like Dilip also. We have seen so many his predecessors. And then he continues, and still he was presently living. He is one of the Saptarshis as well. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami's great grandfather is like a Vasistha Muni. So if we see like that, my father and father, there are 6-7 people in these predecessors. But if we say in our generations, in our human calculations, the age difference cannot be more than, if we take one generation is of 30 years, we cannot see the 200 years gap more than. But when it comes to the sages, their body, they maintain the body, they maintain the life force within their body for so many years, extending it. They don't.
Yes.
Yes, Mother. Yes.
Yeah. One more thing, Prabhu. I have heard from you, Narad Muni is Manasputra of Brahma, and Narad in his previous life he used to serve rishis and those who used to come to their house, Vaishnavas, with his mother. So how just by serving and eating prasadam or leftover of Vaishnavas, how Narad gained such a highly exalted position, and how he became Manasputra of Brahma? Was he Manasputra of Brahma before?
Yes.
I don't understand. He was like normal human being in his previous life, and then he became such a big exalted rishi.
Yes, Mataji. So here in the beginning, he was the son of Brahma.
Okay.
So that is but before being the son of Brahma also, he was a Gandharva. Upabarhana. His name was Upabarhana. And because of some kind of, he was singing all the songs in front of the Indra and so many other demigods at that time. His mind was attracted towards the woman, something like that. And then Indra cursed him that you become a maid servant of a woman. Son of a maid servant. And then later on, he became like that, son of maid servant. And then that pastime happens. There he meet the all the devotees of the Lord. This is Vedavadaratas, Vedantists.
Yes.
Narad Muni says this one, these statements about his pastimes. So he says, once only by their permission, I took the remnants of their food, and by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus, being engaged, I became purified in heart. And at that time, the very nature of the transcendentalist became attractive to me. So, this is because in our Vedic tradition, generally, husband he is always doing devotional service, and women they eat whatever the husband leaves in a plate, and with that remnants, women add some more rice within the same plate and eat it, and they will attain the same perfection as the husband. Nowadays, because of so many other bad habits or learning other cultures, they are not doing it. But that is the tradition. And also, whenever a devotee leaves any remnants, Prabhupada mentions that three substances are very important. One is the food remnants left by a devotee, and the dust of the feet of a devotee, and also washed water of which is washed lotus feet of devotees. The water and the dust, and also these remnants of the devotees. These three substances are very powerful. That was also recently shared in the WhatsApp groups, that message Prabhupada mentioned. So likewise, Narada Muni was being attracted to that nature of the transcendentalism, and he was completely purified. So here they were impartial by nature. Those followers of Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. And because why this Narada Muni, even though he was a 5 years old boy, he was self-controlled and no attachment for sports. Adhuta Kiredanake, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty and I did not speak more than required. These are the qualifications. Not speak more than required. So sometimes what happens, even the devotees, we think that I am speaking to the devotees, and then we go into the personal matters and then misunderstandings. One person speaks to the other person, giving some kind of suggestions instead of why you do like that, why don't you do like that. So those things, material suggestions are also not recommended. So do not speak more than required. This is very important. Devotees association is purely association with Krishna only for the transcendental matters, not for the personal matters. We do not comment on anything of the personal things. And if anything, we pray to the Lord, we help whatever we can, but not speak more than required. That needs to be, otherwise so many misunderstandings will come, unnecessary usage of the tongue.
Yeah.
So this is Narad Muni's self-controlness and no attachment for sports and limited speaking. And whenever those Vedantists they were leaving, they have given that knowledge to Vyasadeva. So and his one more quality of Narada Muni is the listening attentively, and my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. See, this is attraction. That is why he got attraction, because he was eating their remnants. He is serving them. But if we see in our lives, am I eating the remnants of any other devotee or whom I wanted to serve? If I got, so that we have to understand. And am I serving any devotee perfectly or am I coming on my free will? Whenever I get a time, I will come and attend and then doing it. Or am I doing like purposefully, like with a proper attention in particular time? I have committed for one particular service. Am I doing like that? that one has to assess himself. So this is that kind of attentiveness to hear Krishna Katha, attentiveness to go to Krishna and serve the devotees. It will come automatically. Then, in due course of time, this boy, the Lord has arranged in such a way that his mother, she left her body due to the snake bite, and then this boy left that place, and then he went meditation. Then he could see the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his meditation. He doesn't have any other thing because he was completely absorbed by the instructions given by these Vedantists and sages.
Who are Vedantists, Prabhu?
So these Vedantists, so these are the Kumaras actually.
4 Kumaras?
4 Kumaras. So 4 Kumaras, it was explained in a different scripture, not in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It was explained in a different scripture. So just possibly
They are also Brahmaputra, na? They Brahma.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And one more thing, Prabhu, I always confuse with. One is Brahman. One is Brahman. Brahman means those who have these characteristics are different. And Brahma is Brahma. What is Brahman then? Brahman.
Brahma Jyoti.
Brahma Jyoti. Okay.
Brilliance of Lord.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, Radha Sevaka Mataji, wanted to add anything? You lifted your hands.
No, sorry, that's just from. Sorry.
Okay. Any other additions, dear devotees? So that's why staying among devotees, it is always recommended. Satam prasangan mama veer samvedo bhavanti hrutkana rasayana katha. And one who gets that kind of attachment, he doesn't mingle with the materialistic people. Satsangan mukta dhasango hatum notsa hate buddha kityamanam yasho yasya sakrid akarnya rochanam. The taste coming from the devotees is so beautiful. Kityamanam yasho yasya sakrid akarnya rochanam. A little bit. And he will lose the taste for the any material thing. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam. We directly perceive and experience these pastimes with reading among the devotees.
Yeah, Prabhu, one more thing I have a question in my mind. What is a relation between Guru and Bhagwan? All gurus like Srila Prabhupada and all their gurus and 6 Goswamis, what type of relation they have and they are able to guide us, to devotees. So what kind of relationship they share in between? Are they have they got same power as Lord, or they are like, I have heard they are ambassador of Krishna, they are ambassador of Bhagwan. So how powerful are they?
The devotees of the Lord?
No, Guru.
Yeah, Guru is also devotee of the Lord. So Acharya mam vijaniyat na avamanyeta karhichet na matya buddhya asuyeta sarvadeva mayo guruhu. Sarvadeva mayo guruhu. This is Guru. It is Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. So it comes like that from the scriptures. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. He is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is Sarvadeva Mayo Guruhu. So this is again statement of Krishna. Sarvadeva Mayo Guruhu. Guru and Acharya, they are empowered devotees of the Lord. They're representatives of the Lord. Whatever they speak, like Brahma says, if I speak anything or Narada, if whatever I speak, they will never go wrong. because I keep the Lord in my throat, in my heart, everywhere. That's why my words never go wrong. So that's why whatever they speak, it will come into the existence. Lord, make sure that they happen for the devotees. न भारतिमिंगम रुषोपलक्ष्यते न वै क्वचिन्मे मनसो मृषागतिः न मे क्वचिन्मे. So it says, Lord Brahma says this statement. So in the it comes a little bit before. So he explains this to Narada Muni only. My words will never go wrong because I keep always, oh Lord, in my heart. That is the beauty of it. And my mind, my heart, they will never be distressed or depressed somewhere, never go down. That is the beauty of it, the devotee. That's why acharyas and gurus, whatever they speak, but we have to assess who is my guru, from whom I have to take the initiation, and who has completely surrendered themselves, who is speaking exactly what the Lord has spoke, and who has inherited the knowledge from previous acharyas, and who is speaking that knowledge. So I have to take initiation from that. One has to assess the spiritual master first, not this spiritual master is going to help me in my spiritual elevation. That one has to assess, not blindly going, okay, this spiritual master will be good, he can share some personal matters, means not personal things, but actually it is spiritual things, how I can elevate spiritually. Devotees, they wanted only for to speak on Krishna Katha only for spiritual advancement. That one has to decide who is their spiritual master.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So any other comments, or we shall conclude and continue for the Japa? So this on Saturdays, this is kind of a open thing, so you can share anything and ask anything, so that it will help you in so many ways, so that you will be studying in your devotional service in your own way, in your own mode. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. It was so beautiful, this part of the Bhagavatam after the Chatushloki that we are covering. And as he was answering to Himlata Mataji, that Lord Narada was blessed that whatever he speaks, it will come true. And similarly, just wanted to add that, when he blessed Valmiki Muni when he was a hunter, and then he did all the austerity and he became like from Ratnakar to Valmiki, and then he was also blessed by Narad Muni that when whatever he writes will come true. So that's how you have the Ramayana, like whatever he wrote, it was actually, it happened like that. So that's the power of a guru. So I just wanted to add that, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. That is the power of the devotees and acharyas. So this one also, this is what I have been saying about the 34. So here he says that Brahma na bharate mengam rupalakshite navaikvachin me manso mrushagatihi name hrushikani patinti asatpate yenme hruskantya vatadruto harihi. He says that I have caught hold of the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari with great zeal. Whatever I say has never proved to have been false, nor is the progress of my mind ever deterred, nor are my senses ever degraded by temporary attachment to matter. So that is the power of gurus.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, thank you Prabhu for explaining. One more question has come up in my mind as Sanchita Masaji mentioned Valmiki Rishi. So was it just because he received blessings from Narad Muni, he was able to write Ramayana, or he was also incarnation of someone or Bhagwan?
So Valmiki is not described as incarnation of Bhagwan because he was first thing he was Valmiki before he became a sage. There was a little bit of pastime about him, so kind of a sensible thing to come to the senses. He was a robber, and then whatever the people are going in a road, and then steal from them, and then feed his family. And one day he came to kind of come across Narada Muni, uh, kind of thing. And
Okay.
then he says that you're trying to steal this from the people, but you're doing sinful activities. Are you sharing? Why are you committing sinful activities? Is your family, he says that for to feed my family. Are they also sharing your sinful activities? Then says, I will wait here, you go and check. And then he went to his family and says, why do we take your sinful activities? Of course, that is the real thing. Whatever husband does sinful activity, they don't go to the wife and they don't take it actually. That is the scriptural injunctions. And here, when he has heard from their family members, and he was puzzled why I'm doing, and then he has come to Narada Muni for the enlightenment, and then Narada Muni he gave some knowledge, and then later on gradually he was attracted, and on one day he was going outside for collecting some kind of paraphernalia for his sacrifices. Then he sees that there was another hunter who was hitting a bird. The birds are a pair of birds sitting on a tree, and he killed one of the bird. At the time, with so much of compassion towards the birds, he said and cursed that hunter as well, the one shloka, and that shloka turned it as a foundation for the composing of entire Ramayana. Likewise, the story goes, but it was not mentioned that Valmiki is the incarnation of any of Krishna's.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Balmiki was there in Treta Yuga, na Prabhu, because in Balmiki's ashram, Sita Devi was there and she gave birth to Love and Kush. It's same Balmiki, na Prabhu, Rishi Balmiki.
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
So this story is from the Treta Yuga, and Vyasdev came in Dwapar Yuga, isn't it?
Yes, but here there are ages or Mahayugas. We are in the cycle of 28th cycle of Mahayuga. This is Satya Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Kali Yuga. These are the four in the sequence. But in this 28th cycle, Dwapara became the third, Treta Yuga became a second.
Okay.
And so that's why we always say that first is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Dwapara. Dwa means second, Tra means third one.
Third, yeah.
Yeah, but here for the Krishna's appearance, it was adjusted that it is appearing. Second became a third, and third became a fourth. So here also it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Vyasadeva has appeared when the Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga are overlapped. So when they're overlapped at the time, he appeared. So here that verse comes from the fourth chapter of, I think, sixth chapter only. This is coming from so it is going kind of a technical details. So here
Okay, but anyway, couldn't get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is overlapping of it. It comes from those chapters only, 4 to 6, 7 up to the 6, 4 or 4, 5, 6. There it explained. Jataha parashara yogi vasavyam kalaya harehe.
So just wanted to understand, Prabhu, Rishi Balmiki was he as powerful as Rishi Vyasadev?
So here Valmiki has given Ramayana to all of us in the 24th cycle. That is Satyuga, that one, and then 25th cycle went, 26th cycle went, 27th cycle went, 28th cycle. Now we are in the 28th cycle. Here Vyasadeva has appeared, and then he has given all the literatures again. And that knowledge Ramayana has been, it was composed long back before Vyasadeva itself. It has been carried forward. So in terms of the powerfulness, Vyasadeva is the incarnation of Krishna, whereas Valmiki is not. He is a devotee of Krishna.
Okay. But he was so fortunate. Sita Devi stayed in his ashram and he had Sita Devi's presence there. So he was also very fortunate, no, Valmiki Rishi?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay. So
Thank you, Prabhu. Like very nice questions, Lata Mataji, and answers so many of our questions as well. And especially that I had that confusion. Why is it like in our 20th cycle, Manvantara, is it Dwapar comes, Trita comes first and Dwapar. So thank you for touching that. Yeah, maybe sometime we'll get into the details of that when you find time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Let's all, yeah, let's all please say 3 loud Hari Bols to Prabhu. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Very well to all the devotees. Thank you so much, Mataji. So you are asking the questions which are all auspicious and helpful to the others as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is the inquisitiveness. One makes more and asks more things. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. So we shall conclude now. Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Krishna.
Jai. Jai.
Gaur Sangha devotees.
Jai.
Jai. Yeah. So we just quickly wanted to give an information. Like tomorrow, in the manner they're celebrating Ram Navami, and yeah, Purbasha Pranshu and some of the children from the Krishna class, they'll be doing bhajan and some, on Ram. Lord Ram, it's around 2:45 they've got the slot, but we have to leave early morning. So if it's telecast, you all can see. Some children will be doing dance, and then later Pranshu Purbasha and others will be doing some bhajan. Yeah, tomorrow sadly I won't be there in the morning because we have to leave very early, 7:30, to be there at 8:30. So for practice and all.
Okay. What time program will start, Mataji? Children program?
I mean, tomorrow there'll be program whole day, but they have been allocated the slot at 2:45.
Okay. Okay.
So first there'll be 5 minutes of dance, and then Bharatanatyam, and then on one of the Ram Bhajan, and then they'll be doing. So Purbasha will be leading, and there'll be 4 other small children, like including Pranshu, they'll be.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Kindly share some
Please
pictures.
bless them, to be on stage to perform devotion service for Lord Ram is an opportunity. So please bless them so that they can serve the
Perform well.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Very nicely, Mataji. So devotees, children, they do perfectly. All Krishna's blessings will be with them all the time, all times and circumstances. Everything will be very nice. So we'll see those pictures and videos later on when you share.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll try to do. Yeah. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu